So happy Tuesday to those joining us for our Yin practice. Welcoming yourself into the space, preparing yourself for our practice of Yin Yoga. So you might already have all your props nearby, and then just settling in your position of comfort. So whether that be on your back with the bolster along the spine or underneath the knees. You might prefer to come into a seated position to begin your practice. There might be a different position that you are drawn to. So I think there were a few little issues with the link, so there will be a few more just filtering through. And then just settle in this space on the earth. Your position of comfort. Just feeling the ease in your body, the ease in your breath. Feel that sense of complete surrender. Just allowing yourself to fully drop in into this moment, to notice any tension that you might be carrying physically. Paying attention to any dialogues, conversations, thoughts stirring around in the mind. Notice them. And then simply let them go. So I'm aware we had a few little issues with the link, so some of you are still coming in. Just whenever you do, we're just starting in our comfortable position, just of choice. You're here now, just land. Just focus on your breath. The in-breath. Pause after the in-breath. The out-breath. The pause after the out-breath. And then just continue breathing as you settle. As we let go of any of those technical little issues that we might have just experienced. You know that you are here now. You made it. You might make a sigh out through your next breath out. That sense of, oh, I made it. I'm here. Just noticing that sensation through your body of ease. And then just taking 5 more conscious breaths. Just being aware of the 4 parts of your breath. So the inhalation, the pause, the exhalation, and the pause. And then after you've completed your 5 breaths, start to stretch yourself a little. You might be on the earth, you might be seated, you might move, you might reach arms up. You might have props underneath you, which you might like to keep there, or you might wish to remove them. So just take some gentle movements, knowing that we are preparing our body for some long holds in our yin practice. Knowing that if you don't have anything around you that you feel that you might need, just a blanket, cushions, blocks, props that might be somewhere else, just maybe going and grabbing those now. And we're just going to come into a position on our bellies to begin our practice this evening. So you might be seated, you might come straight down onto the belly, you might be on your back. You might wish to roll to one side, come up and come onto the belly, or you might wish just to roll straight on over onto the belly. Just come onto the abdomen, maybe have a block or a bolster or a cushion out in front. It's always nice to pop a blanket underneath your mat as well. So it gives you a little bit of warmth and comfort. And then just come onto the abdomen. Just bring one hand on top of the other. Rest the forehead there in crocodile pose. Just allow the feet to separate a little. Heels will come out a little. And then just roll the forehead really gently along the back of the hands. So it's just this really beautiful, gentle roll of the forehead. Just stimulating the third eye, Ajna chakra. Keeping those eyes closed, keeping the body soft and light. And you can keep rocking the head, but we're going to bend the knees. And we're going to also just kind of move the feet a little side to side. So you might notice the forehead rocking along the hands as the feet come from one side to the other. You might notice the forehead still and the feet moving. You might try both. Just noticing that gentle swish of the feet side to side like windshield wipers. And try to feel the heaviness of the feet, particularly as they come to one side. It's kind of that sense of flopping to one side. Notice what you feel. And then over to the other side, notice what you feel. You might want to hold it there for a few more moments just to notice that little rotation in the spine and what you feel. And then you've got the opportunity to bring the feet wide and around so you can move into a different area of the body, moving into the hips, the hip flexors, but also getting a nice gentle back bend. Just moving the feet around in your own way. Just kind of getting a nice massage through that lower back. You might even lift the pelvis off the floor as you explore. Just a few more breaths of movement here, and then we will be releasing the feet to the mat. Eventually popping the feet down gently, perhaps with a bit of space between those feet, keeping space in that lower lumbar spine. We're going to come up gently onto the forearms, coming into Sphinx pose. Just pausing here for a few rounds of breath. Breathing in and out. And then just as you're here, notice if you would like to stay here without any props. Notice whether you're feeling that you'd like to switch from this position to something else. You can bring a bolster underneath your armpits, coming into a nice supportive variation where you can turn the head to one side. You might stay on the forearms and release the chin to the chest. And you can always bring something to support the neck if you wish, perhaps a block. You might even, if you've got the block there, it might feel really nice to roll the forehead along the block and actually stimulate the third eye whilst you're in this Sphinx position. It might feel nice to just let the head hang, getting into the back of the neck. You might even play around with turning your palms up if there's a variation where you are able to do that. You're just taking it nice and gentle to begin with, which is 60% of your range of motion. You do want to feel something. And then we just pause, breathe. And notice the physical sensations in our body. Noticing any tension that might start to build in the body. And perhaps paying attention to the thoughts as that tension builds. All those sensations arise. Notice where the mind goes. Be the observer. Recognizing that you are not your thinking mind. Being able to let any of those thoughts that don't serve you dissipate by simply not paying attention to them. Soft, gentle breaths in and out. Just ensuring that your buttocks are soft. Toes soft. Feet, ankles. Space between the eyebrows soft. The tongue and the jaw soft. Just keep witnessing your breath. Breathing in and out. Soft, gentle breath. And if you feel you'd like to come up just a little bit higher now, you might turn the hands out a little and maybe bring them forward and just come into a gentle seal pose. You might wish to take it a lot deeper by walking the hands in, maybe even turning your fingers out. So we're all going to feel this very differently. You can stay low by all means, but you do have the opportunity, if you choose, to just take it a little bit deeper. Remember that you want to feel something. It's not a restorative practice. You do want to feel those deep sensations. So we're opening the heart space here, just finding that stimulation in the front of the body. Might feel a little compression in that lower lumbar region. Just notice what you feel without strain or judgment. Breathing in softly, lovingly, kindly. Breathe. Knowing that we won't be here for too much longer. That whatever it is that you're experiencing will pass. Please remember that we don't want to experience pain in the body. There might be discomfort. Please modify if you feel sharp, short electrical pains in the body. Just come out of the pose. And now we're going to take 5 more quality breaths. Try to really take them slowly, knowing that these are your final 5 breaths in this particular shape. You might take an Ujjayi breath on your exhalation, really releasing the sound through pursed lips, feeling that sound in your throat as you constrict the breath through the glottis. You might notice your exhalation longer than your inhalation. Those 5 breaths will be different for each of you. So whenever you complete them, you find your way slowly down. Remove any props from underneath you. You might want to come back onto the forehead on the back of the hands. You might prefer to turn the head to one side and bring the arms forward and be completely flat on the earth. You might even wish to bring your arms beside you. Just let yourself be heavy and floppy. Notice what you can sense, the sensation, the heat perhaps in your lower back. You might have felt it in a very different area today. Just meet yourself where you are. And feel the joy in your heart as you take those gentle breaths to settle back into the earth. If the head is turned to one side, just go ahead and turn it in the opposite direction. Just for a few moments here to balance out the neck, otherwise stay as you are. And when you're ready, bring the hands under shoulders, turn the head back to center. Just come to child's pose, real slow and delicate on the way towards the back of your mat. So notice the sensation through the back, maybe a slight little movement, maybe you just stay still. Just feeling the release through that lower lumbar area of the body. And you come back onto the abdomen. So before you come straight down, if you feel to continue moving the body a little, just take a little dancing bears, some little movements of the head, just kind of explore. So we won't be working with the lower back, but we will be getting into the chest and the shoulders from the abdomen. So it will be lying down and rolling ourselves over to one side. So we will be rolling over onto the left side. So if you feel that you need any props, pop them over to your left. And so we'll just demonstrate this one if you're not sure. We'll start with the left arm out, either in line with your shoulder or the elbow bent. Elbow bent will be a little bit deeper than the arm straight. We bend into the right knee, use the right hand to push in. Sorry, the other way around, right arm out. Sorry, left arm out, right knee bends. I'm trying to face you to do this. We are starting on the yin side, which is the left. We roll ourselves to the left. So you're rolling onto the whole left side of the body. You might notice your foot touching the floor. You might have a block or a bolster over on the left in order to rest the foot on. So find that roll when we're getting into the heart lung meridian, getting into that chest. So noticing maybe that you're right hand stays where it is, or it might wrap behind the back for a deeper sensation. Remember, 60% of your range is where you want to be first. You don't want the head to be lifted. You don't want to be straining. You do want to relax the head down. If it doesn't come down comfortably, a cushion or a block is really nice just to support you. So just go ahead and roll yourself down and over. And if you're not sure of anything, just don't be afraid to yell out as well, to speak up. I'll keep looking at the little comments as well. All right, so settle once you get into that shape. So you will feel across the chest and shoulder region. And if you're not feeling it all that deeply, you can roll back onto the belly and bend your elbow to create a stop sign. And then as you roll yourself back, you will definitely notice the sensation a lot deeper. So but pay attention to your body and find your shape. Breathe in and out, noticing that your breath is what helps you to drop into this. The more we hold on, tense and clench, the more restriction we cause to the body. We send the message to the body that it's not okay to relax. And then as you soften, you want to soften jaw, the muscles in the face. Just consciously notice if there's strain there. Let that dissolve away. Maybe there's tension in the neck. Maybe as you consciously release the neck, you notice your head becoming heavier. And maybe as the head is turned to one side, you might notice the jaw moving off to one side rather than it just be centered. Relax your tongue as well. And just find the breath and be. Notice where your thoughts are. Bring them back to the breath. Bring them back to the space around you. Stay connected to each breath. Just feeling the bliss in your heart. As we open up the energy lines of the body that correspond to the heart, the lung, the liver. Just breathing in and out. And so you might notice that your left hand is down on the floor. You might notice, you might wish to lift it if it's not already. You can wrap it behind you. You might have the knee bent, the sole of the foot to the floor. You might have the leg extended and resting on top of something. Your left arm might be straight or there might be a bend. Just notice how your body has arranged itself now. And then be honest with yourself. How are you feeling in this moment? Is there a little bit more? Can you explore? Is it the ego wanting to push you? or to pull you in the opposite direction of that, not trying enough. And can you meet yourself somewhere in between? Place of sattva, or balance. So pay attention if there's more or less. And come there now. Pause, reassess, come back to breath. Takes a few breaths just to settle once again, particularly if you've gone deeper. And then you're just going to take 5 more breaths. And soft, loving breaths for those 5 final. Just experiencing how far you've come. Not just physically, energetically, emotionally. You're seeing soul expanding more and more as we explore the edges of our bodies. And then we are just going to gently, it's a slow journey back onto the belly, so don't flop there. Just control the descent. No, it's taken you a little while to get here. So lovingly enjoy the journey back onto the belly. Slow as you unravel. Just remain on the earth, heavy, still, as everything comes back. The feelings, the tingles. Feel yourself light, like you're firing up from inside. Bring all of the energetic circuits in the body, meridian lines, the chi as it flows through. We'll be taking this straight to the opposite side. So move anything to the opposite side of your mat, to the right, and your right arm will come out, or it will bend depending on the variation you take. You can start by bending your left knee. You push into your left hand, rolling all the way onto the right side of the body. So again, you'll work out what works for you and how the side might differ and how it might vary in modifications. Remembering that you want to relax the head down on the earth. And then just notice the foot, the other one that crosses over, whether it stays bent and the sole is on the floor or whether you roll all the way over to one side. Whether the other arm eventually wants to lift up and over. There's no one right answer. You're all going to feel different each day that you arrive on your mat. So breathing in and breathing out. Right, relaxing the head also on something if you need, cushion, bolster, blanket. Seeing if you can relax your toes, your ankles, your buttocks, your abdomen. Noticing your chest. Noticing your breath as you breathe in the spaces between your ribs. Noticing perhaps that slight lift as you breathe in into your lungs. Notice what you can release on the exhalation. Can you breathe out more breath? Can you soften more? Can you let go of a limiting belief? Soft jaw, closed eyes. Yin is an inward journey, delving into self, inquiring, getting to know you, all aspects of you. Breathing in, breathing out, feeling the joy, feeling the warmth, the appreciation of your body. What are you holding? What no longer serves you? Now that you've settled, take notice of how far you've come. And then notice, just ask yourself if you are okay where you are, if there's a little bit more for you to explore, or whether you are ready to come out. So you're going to modify or stay. My suggestion is taking it a little bit deeper, challenging yourself, breaking any habits, patterns that we create, that we hold on to. And by just delving a little deeper, perhaps the mind becomes stronger. But remembering we're not taking it to the point where we're not feeling to come deeper, and then the mind just throws us into that place. So it's a fine line. Know it within yourself. Find that place of complete peace. 5 more breaths. Please don't rush those 5 breaths. Sometimes it's tempting. Try to really find those quality breaths. And remember that when you are ready to come out, it might take at least 30 seconds or even more to come out. It might even just be a slow movement of your arm from behind your back first, and then bring it under the shoulder to support you. And then use that hand, push into that as you maybe extend the leg. And just notice this slow, controlled descent onto the belly. Head might turn the other way. It might feel nice to slide the other arm in. There might be a different variation that you might wish to create to find rebound, to support. It's a heavy feeling without any tension, tightness. Just a place where we can witness all that we have awakened. You'll feel that dance of energy through your body. Feel it. Feel that dance, that play of life inside of you, Lila. Feel the warmth inside of you. Maybe feeling that visual sensation of a sun above you, and its rays penetrating through your skin, We're going to take it gently back to child's pose once again, pressing into the earth and just gently shifting hips to heel. You can bring the fists one on top of the other, rest the forehead there. You can bring the hands down beside you with the forehead down, whatever you feel. Maybe some movement, maybe still. Movement might be nice just to get into the movement through your spine. Eventually we're going to press into the hands. You can still move as you do this. You can sway a little side to side. We're just going to sit on the heels in Virasana just for a few brief moments. So for some of us, this is extremely fine. For some of us, it might not be so. If it's not so, you can pop a block or a cushion between the buttocks and your heels. We're going to join the thumbs to touch, one palm on top, one back of the hand on top of one hand, palm, and thumbs are touching. We're bringing the hands in the lap. We're just going to sit here for a few breaths. We're going to inhale, draw the shoulders forward and up. And then as you exhale, roll them back and down. Just continue breathing in, forward, up. As you exhale, though, roll back and down. So just notice that release through the shoulders, front of the chest. Inhale, forward. Exhalation, rolling them down. 3 more cycles. And on that 3rd cycle, just release completely and be still in this position of stillness. Just feeling the energy through your hands as your thumbs touch. As one hand sits neatly on top of the other, hands resting in the lap. Maybe a slight bow of your chin to your chest. There's a lengthening through your spine. Just simply being still in this position of meditation. As we just simply sit, noticing the feet, the ankles. You can stay if this is where you'd like to stay. Or if you'd like to go a little deeper, lift your hips off your heels, separate your feet. And if you need, bring your hands to your calves so you can externally rotate them so you can sit between. Or you can try that with a block underneath you. And we're just going to stay again. You've either deepened or you are staying where you are. Just breathing in, breathing out. There shouldn't be any knee pain. There might be slight discomfort, maybe tension begins to arise. Settle with the breath. We're just going to stay in our upright saddle today. We're not going to take it back. And we're just going to stay here for 5 more breaths. And when you complete 5 breaths, just bow your chin to your chest. Thank your body, thank your knees. And we're going to come out of this by either bringing the hands. Actually, we will come forward after this one. Come forward. You can swing the feet around to one side. We're going to come to sit on the earth. And it might feel nice to swish the knees a little side to side. You might just want to pause and just extend the legs out and let the flow of blood move through. Maybe move the ankles. Just noticing the movements that wish to come into play. And as we do this, I will let you know that the next place that we'll be going into will be caterpillar, which is a forward fold over both legs. So some of you might wish to support knees with your bolster or some blocks as you come forward. Keeping a bend in the knees is a really beautiful option to keep the belly and thighs connected. It might feel nice to round. You might get more into the spine than the hamstrings. If you wish to get more into the hamstring area, not having anything under the knees, the legs will start to slowly straighten. You might feel the sensation there as well as the spine. You might wish to bring the bolster in front. You might drape over that. You might release arms forward. You might even sit up on something to elevate the hips, which might give you that anterior tilt, which gives you, again, another different flavor to the pose. So just coming into a somewhat forward position. Relaxing the head, and of course, if you need support, you can support the forehead. The legs don't have to be completely together. Bring a little space between them, which is just going to be a position where you can just naturally fall and you're not requiring any effort. The arms can be forward or try moving them to the back. Notice how the shoulders might feel, having the hands behind you with your palms up rather than forward, rather than always overreaching. And then pay attention to your feet. Do they wish to externally rotate, internally rotate? Notice your natural anatomy, what your body does when it's heavy and floppy. And getting to know your own body. Not worrying about how your body looks in comparison to anyone else's. Your body is designed to house your soul for your chosen life path, your dharma, your purpose in life. We all have an individual calling. Sometimes we hear it knocking quite loudly at the door and we act upon it and we can feel that compulsion towards something. Sometimes it continues to knock and knock and knock, and we just don't want to admit because we feel the fear, the uncertainty. And there's always going to be the fear and the uncertainty in trying something new, in following our heart's calling. It's this recognition that that is what we came here to do. And there might be more than one thing, or there might be lots of little things that leads you to this one big thing. And sometimes we become a little confused. Is this our life purpose? How do we know? You pause, you tune into the body. The body never lies. You will feel the answers coming from within. To sit in meditation, even if you don't know your next move in life, just to sit. To not be in that place of actively thinking. To sit in stillness and step out of the way is generally when the information comes through. Your body will vibrate with a radiant yes, or you'll know if it's a no. And it seems to be that this time, this point in time, this timeline right now, 2020, quite a phenomenal year. Who saw it coming? And yet here we are. Our soul knowing that We have opted to be in this body at this time. So not discounting our ability to move through the obstacles put before us. And that we do have the strength to move through them. We wouldn't be here on this earth if we didn't have that ability. So remembering who you are. Remember who you are. Remember why you came. Not through the intellect, just let it go. The answers will come when you step out of the way, when you least expect them to come. Is there deepness? Can you come further forward? Can you settle into your body? Can you settle into your soul purpose? Surrender into it. Take the path of least resistance. Feel that quite literally through the flopping of your body in this shape. Keep the brow soft, the jaw soft, the feet, the toes, the hands, fingers, whole body, buttocks, thighs, hamstrings. Keep scanning the body. Is there something still that you are holding, that you are afraid to let go of? Let go of the reins, trust, move with the flow of nature, of the cycles of the seasons. Maybe more length behind the back of the neck. Maybe the chin falls closer, maybe forehead closer to the shins. Settle, breathe in and out for 5 more cycles. Take your time, explore 5 breaths. Just allow the journey to be a slow, delicate, conscious unfurling. Let it be really, really slow. Challenge yourself to come up even slower than what you would think that you could. And as you slowly unfurl through the spine, just pause for a moment. In an upright seat, you can keep the legs as they are for a moment. Just notice the spine restacking, one on top of the other, each vertebra. And then we are going to come to lay down on our backs. Press your hands into the earth. Your mat might not be behind you. You might want to shift forward and then slowly come onto elbows. And then just, again, flop heavy on the earth, on your back. Wide arms, wide legs. Witness the sensations through every cell of your body. Feel the pulse, the current of life. Feel the rising and falling of your belly. Feel the heat in your hands. The fire in your heart. passion that drives you, the strength to move forward. I'm going to very slowly start to wriggle and to move and just to notice what's next. Maybe you draw the knees into the chest. Maybe you drop the knees side to side. Maybe you extend the legs up and you roll the ankles. Just have a little exploration here. Feel what your body is calling for. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's take any final movements. You might want to draw a knee in and roll ankles. You might want to take a little brief twist. This is just movement just to get us into Shavasana. So iron out all of the kinks in your body now. There might not be a lot of movement. It might just be I'm ready to come straight down. But this is your opportunity to really feather your nest, to grab any props, to dim any lights, to grab those blankets, those eye pillows, and to just settle on the floor. To come onto your back. To just be. Any support is welcome through the props that surround you. Unhinge your jaw, feel the heavy head, feel the soft arms and legs. And as you breathe and settle, just begin to notice the space around you. Notice the sounds. Try not to identify with those sounds. Refrain from allowing any distractions to penetrate through. You are in control of your thoughts, your mind, your experience. In every given moment, you have a choice as to what you wish to entertain, where you wish to be, your mindset. Choose stillness, choose happiness, choose peace. Choose love, kindness, joy. Choose all of the things that make you feel light and that sing to your soul. Remember that the body never lies. Those things that make us feel light and free. And the things that help us to journey forward, to make the right choices, to find our Dharma, or to continue following our Dharma. Asking the questions if we're uncertain, not being afraid to ask for help. The answers will show up. Feel your body melting further and further into the earth. Can you soften your shoulders a fraction more? Can you soften any sharp edges? Can you feel your body as if on warm sand, just creating that outline of your body? that indentation. Feeling snuggled and warm and held and embraced by the earth, by those fine grains of sand. And maybe you experience the warmth of the sun penetrating down onto your skin. And maybe you particularly feel the sun in your solar plexus, the upper belly region between your heart and your belly button, your fire center, your power center, your battery pack. And feeling yourself becoming recharged by the sun's rays. You might even feel your rays moving back out to the sun as a beautiful exchange. To feel yourself warm and heavy, surrendering to the unknown. With trust and love in your heart. And if you've drifted into a beautiful stillness and you want to remain there and continue just in this still meditation, please remain. If you do wish to slowly move and to make your way up into a seat, make it a very slow, gentle journey there. So just choosing, honoring your choice, thanking your body, your heart, spirit. If you are seated, you can bring the hands to the center of the chest, bowing gently to the space right in between the chest. Honoring your internal light, your internal flame. Continue shining that light flame brightly. Have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday, rest of your week. My name is Eva. Namaste.